Mr. Jager. Welcome this morning, Mr. Jager. You have 5 minutes with a possible extension of 3. If you could give us your name for the record and the agenda item you're speaking to when you're ready.
Thank you, Mayor. Councillors, my name is Jeff Jager. I'm a resident of Coila. Today I would like to speak, as my previous 6 speakers have done, on the draft code of meeting practice. Public access and public forum sessions allow members of the community to make submissions face-to-face with Council. Such opportunities are not otherwise available and are not as frequent or as convenient as in past years. The number of Council meetings open to the public this year will be 18. In 2010, it was 32. 3 of those, by the way, were extraordinary meetings on particular subjects. It is important too that the content of the submissions made in public access and public forum sessions and the responses of Council, if any, be known to those who cannot attend meetings and be on the public record for future reference. Rather than eliminating public access, removing live streaming or video recording from public forum or any part of meetings other than confidential sessions, rather than in any way limiting the time or access to make submissions, the proactive and responsible thing for Council to be doing is to actually extend meetings to include public access and to provide the same live streaming and video recording as for the rest of the meeting, and even allowing for questions on notice to be submitted by members of the community as is done in some other shires. There are times when there might be many submissions on a particular issue, but these are rare and they do, by the very numbers, indicate the level of concern in the community. Therefore, something that Council should be most inclined to consider and to provide access to be available to the broader community. In the past, some such issues were made the subject of extraordinary meetings with in-depth debates. This avenue is open to you still at appropriate times. It is suggested in the agenda report that issues can be raised directly with councillors by phone or email, but please reflect on how many times you actually respond to such approaches, and if you had been on the other end, how satisfied would you have been with your responses? While it could be accepted that some matters can be time wasters or even embarrassing, wise leaders know that there is no such thing as a dumb idea, and that it would be a dumb thing to be dismissive of any submission without acknowledgement and without offering advice to correct any misapprehensions. There are adequate means available to censor tracts on videotapes, and we've heard some of those about time delays and things this morning. So anything that is legally unacceptable can be squashed, even though the opportunities where this might occur are extremely rare. Importantly, if you believe everything you do here is as pure as the driven snow, then please be mindful that any restrictions people perceive to be designed to exclude them will only exacerbate any inclination to doubt or suspicion. Think back to your own motivations to stand for election to council. I'm sure it was not to make members of the community feel they are excluded from expressing an opinion or offering a suggestion or even some constructive criticism. Following on to my email to you of this submission, there are some extracts from the Local Government Act that highlight the importance placed on words like representation, transparency, engagement, consultation, accountability and responsibility. Please read them and think about why they were written into the Act, and most importantly, make amendments to this Code of Meeting Conduct to to ensure members of the community are and feel welcome, included and engaged. Your oath, if you remember it, asks you to faithfully and impartially carry out your responsibilities. Think about those words, please. Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation, Mr de Jager. Councillors, are there any questions? Councillor Brown.
I just wanted to clarify, you used some numbers about how many meetings we had and we didn't. You are aware that they were committee meetings, not council meetings?
Under the
you remember
definitions.
That?
Yes.
Yeah. So
they were
committee meetings, not full council meetings.
They were still open. They were attended by all councillors and open to the public.
That's right.
Yep.
So what we did, so just to explain, you are aware, I'm asking the question, you are aware that the reason they were changed was to allow for an increase of an extra full council meeting where the decisions stand, whereas in committee meetings they were just referred to the full council. That then allowed us to have an extra time to be briefed and be fully aware of all other information that we can have as far as making our decisions. So I'm just wondering whether that, I mean, it sounds, what you're saying, I can understand where you're coming from, it sounds like it's been reduced, but in actual fact it was changed with a view to improve the quality of abilities of councils to actually meet and have decisions made. So we had 2 decision-making council meetings as opposed to
Councillor,
one.
I'm going to ask you to be a bit more succinct.
Yeah. Are you aware of that?
No, but I am aware that the public has far less access to meetings of the council, whether they be committee meetings or ordinary council meetings, and some of them are.
Committee meetings, yeah.
Councillor Nathan.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Further to the question that Councillor Brown asked you, Mr de Jager, are you aware of the difference between a meeting such as this today, where votes are made and are binding, and other forms of meetings that we have throughout the year? And could you explain your interpretation of those?
I am aware that the committee meetings that Councillor Brown referred to also involve councillors taking public access from the community and making decisions. I can't see really there is much difference between them and this.
Thank you, Mr de Jager. Thank you for your presentation.
Thank you.